Hello everyone. I'm here today to talk about this week's Association of Municipalities of Ontario annual conference. For the first time in more than 100 years, the conference was held virtually rather than in person. I congratulate the team at AMO for their delivery of an excellent conference online over Zoom in conjunction with the team of TVO who produced the agenda hosted by Steve Pekin. Gathering hundreds of people from rural and urban settings to participate electronically with so many different internet abilities was a challenge that they met successfully. This annual conference brings together municipal leaders across Ontario to discuss important topic issues, concerns, and policies that directly affect Ontario's 444 municipalities. The Premier and his ministers participated in discussions and panel sessions, listening to us and providing information relevant to these challenging times. AMO supports and enhances strong, effective municipal government in Ontario, and we here in Tecumseh have been at the table throughout the last decade, working with them on their endeavors. I am a past president of the organization and a current board member. This year, I sought re-election on the board of directors representing the county caucus and was acclaimed in that role for another term. I want to extend also my congratulations to my colleague Hilda McDonald, the mayor of Leamington, for being elected to the board of directors representing the small urban caucus. I have spent a number of years at the executive table and continue to lend my voice to ensure the needs of municipalities are voiced. AMO advocates to the Government of Ontario and has a very good working relationship with the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Honourable Steve Clark. The key element of the conference was the impact of COVID-19 on municipalities and the province. Discussions over the three-day conference were about the impacts and our response to COVID, and most importantly, our recovery. Keeping in mind that we may experience a second wave in the fall, our discussions focus on the balance between staying safe and the economic recovery. Ontario municipalities continue to provide essential services and take measures to keep our communities safe. We have faced this unprecedented situation and significant help from the federal and provincial governments. Steve Pekin summed up the help into three main buckets: healthcare and personal protective equipment, help for jobs and people, and help for business. As you are now hearing in the media, announcements related to deficits are staggering. The Ontario government has announced that the deficit for 2020 is the largest in Ontario's history and fully the result of the pandemic and lockdown. Currently, it's estimated at $38.5 billion. The pandemic and its impact on Canadians overall has resulted in a strong collaboration between all orders of government. Municipalities have been lobbying the federal and provincial governments for support since spring. As a result, the Safe Restart Agreement signed between Canada and Ontario provides $4 billion in support funding for municipalities allocated to operations, transit, social services relief. Tecumseh's share is approximately $554,000 for municipal operating pressures from the pandemic and almost $34,000 for our transit service. This money will go to offset expenses incurred as a result of the pandemic, including additional cleaning, hours of work, personal protection equipment, and loss of revenue. Additionally, the federal government announced a new stream of investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. The COVID Resilience Stream will provide $3.3 billion to municipalities for quick start infrastructure projects that can come online in 2021. It is an application-based program with details still to come, and in my view, there is no better way to get the economy going than infrastructure projects. We continue to advocate both levels of government to find more capital dollars that can go into municipal construction projects. For us, here in Tecumseh, we need these dollars for stormwater infrastructure in our multi-use sportsplex. Economic recovery was a key theme of the conference this week. In Windsor, Essex, we saw challenges with our local businesses having to close with no online storefront options, our manufacturing facilities forced to close or implement physical distancing measures and in some cases retool. The spread of illness in foreign workers on farms and within our agriculture industry with our health unit and Ontario Health Ministry acting to get that under control. In our farming community who had to help manage these outbreaks and pivot their production as the hospitality industry was forced to close. Panelists from the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the Retail Council of Canada underscored the effects of the pandemic on the Ontario economy. It was like putting the economy into a medically induced coma. Unlike the 2008 recession, this has been a small business recession, hitting Main Street storefronts and services hard. While small, mid, and large retailers were hit, it was Main Street retailers who took the brunt. Within 3 months, online sales growth exceeded rates that had not been predicted in 2 years. There was no time to pivot to online sales, and for many, it was a crash course. Now, Main Street retailers find themselves trying to compete with giants like Amazon. In a recent poll, 82% of Ontarians fear that their favorite local retailers will not survive. And 95% of Ontarians believe that supporting small business is key to the economic recovery. I want to thank the residents of Tecumseh for their support of our local businesses, and to our businesses for continuing to look for ways to provide products and services. For our local businesses, I encourage you to reach out to the Small Business Center for assistance. The Small Business Center offers the Digital Main Street initiative to assist businesses in Essex County with digital transformation. Many other organizations are doing things to encourage spending and to jumpstart the local economy. In July, a grassroots effort called The Big Spend held a Spend Local Day to direct funds into local economies across Canada. This week, we learned that effort resulted in $18 million spent in the Canadian economy. RBC has created a Canada United campaign supported by the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and our local chamber, declaring August 28 to 30 has a local shopping weekend. Every time someone watches the Canada United video, likes a post, or uses the Canada United hashtag on Twitter, RBC will donate 5 cents to the Canadian United Small Business Relief Fund to a maximum of $2 million. This fund goes to support our small businesses with grants of up to $5,000 to cover expenses related to personal protection equipment, renovations to accommodate reopening, and developing or improving e-commerce capacity. Please spend your money in Tecumseh on that weekend. Tweet out your support. Use the hashtags and like the post to get to 2 million of support from RBC. Easy to do, and your support will be greatly appreciated. In another panel, the Minister of Economic Development and Trade was asked how trade can play a role in economic recovery. For us here in Essex County, we know how important a seamless border connection is for the need to access to the U.S. market. Minister Fedeli advised that the government is working on a strategy to expand 3 areas of trade. 1, U.S. and Ontario. 2, foreign trade. And finally, the interprovincial trade in Canada. Right now, their focus is on interprovincial trade. Another concern of the economy is the shortage of skilled workers in Ontario. Prior to COVID-19, more than 200,000 jobs were going unfilled every day in the province. The government is aware of the shortage of skilled trades and is working on a strategy. With input from AMO to address this through enabling skills training for young people and through immigration. Tecumseh has historically been impacted by a shortage of skilled workers, now compounded by the pandemic. With approximately 80% of Canada's mold makers operating in Oldcastle, as well as many other advanced manufacturing facilities, finding skilled trade workers is a serious concern for our businesses. Supporting the economy is the next key measure being taken by senior levels of government. With a federal economic statement coming in October and a provincial budget this November, we will learn more about how the two orders of government will continue to support our economy. As always, AMO will be in the thick of these plans as they provide input to address things like economic recovery, support for businesses, labor force development, and facilitating opportunities for new workers. A key theme throughout the conference was keeping public health and safety first. Speakers and panelists reminded all of us that Ontarians must follow public health guidelines regarding the use of masks. Staying home if you aren't feeling well, keeping 2 meters physical distance, and washing your hands. This will be key as we move into the winter months when everyone is pushed indoors and flu and other illnesses are more prevalent. I know that there has been a movement locally regarding not using masks in commercial settings, and I want to remind everyone that this is not optional. In Windsor, Essex, it is an order from the health unit. Wearing a mask will be enforced if necessary, although we ask for the good grace of the public to cooperate. Last week, Tecumseh Council adopted a policy where masks would be required in town facilities, including the public library. These decisions are backed by science and are known to protect one another from community spread. We all must be vigilant in our efforts to protect not only ourselves, but our loved ones and the vulnerable members of our community. Please follow public health guidelines and please do your part. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you again in September. Have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend, and best wishes to all of the students heading back to school next month. Stay safe.